That's what I'm saying. I
it
think
wasn't
Baisha's
perfect.
Like,
that's what everybody will remember.
you gotta see them against the better teams before you really lock it in.
Yeah, well, we do have the map ban pick, so we can talk a little bit more about that later. Let's talk about the maps here. We do have Eagle Eye banned away by ranking, so that is going to be an early Eagle Eye ban off the board.
I think that's a good one. Obviously, we know that XROCK will have that one in the map pool. It's in the map pool for the top 2 Chinese teams. I don't think you get away with not having it there if you're XROCK. They've gotten rid of sub-base. And see whether we go towards like maybe something like Ankara and Compound again, which was what Ranking did play yesterday. Ranking chose Ankara yesterday. Do you choose that against a Chinese team, though? I mean, that is a quintessential map in the Chinese region, so that would be a bold prediction.
Yeah, I would say probably not here. Blackwidow, definitely a strong choice from them. I was thinking maybe that, or even a Mexico here, just because it was left on the table, could be a good choice for ranking. XROCK, though, I would say maybe they bring out the Ankara on their side anyways. I don't think that's a bad call. Maybe even a Compound, having a chance to have watched that match previously as well, could be another strong map for them to bring out in this series.
Yeah, give me a bit of Blackwidow Ankara. I love that. I think that's bang bang. My top
Classic.
2 favorite. Actually, I think if I could get my dream map pool right here, it goes Blackwidow, Ankara, and then Compound. If we get Compound as the 3rd here for the decider, I'll be very happy.
Ankara, there it is. It's picked. Not too surprising,
no,
based on what you guys have been talking about. So, left available, they do take it here. And let's see, the signs will be that they have to start on GR.
So what are you banned now? I mean, surely you're getting rid of Mexico.
If I'm ranking, I'd leave it in. XROCK, I think, maybe bans the Mexico here. Ranking, I actually think it's a good map to maybe catch XROCK by surprise. I could see maybe a port ban coming out if Ranking wants to play Compound in that 3rd map. And it seems to be maybe the road we're taking here. They're going to go ahead and ban port. XROCK, I would expect to leave it up to Compound for that decider map. Maybe they're feeling confident. Another Mexico in the day could be interesting.
Nah, it's going to be port. It's going to be Compound. Compound's going to be map 3.
It's almost as if Ranking gets to choose the last map, because they are expecting 95% of the time XROCK to ban Mexico. So they're like, do we want Compound or port? Let's ban port so that we get Compound. Now, inevitably, it is XROCK's pick in reality. So let's see what they do decide to go for. They will ban Mexico, which is not surprising, and it will be Compound.
Yeah, happy with that as a pool. I will say, I think as far as the third map in the pool being Compound is concerned, Ranking won't be too disappointed. They had a pretty good shout there yesterday against Vincent. I think cleaning up a couple of small things on that map could have actually won it for them. And I dare say it doesn't take much of a conversation going into today to sort of shore up some of those issues. But obviously, whether or not we're going to get to Compound is probably the bigger question here. And I do think taking a Chinese team to Blackwidow and Ankara, map 1 and map 2, is a very scary prospect.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to be a tough one to overcome, but, you know, maybe they've got some first-round jitters here. It is the first game for XROCK. Meanwhile, you know, you have some experience in this event already from Ranking. That could be enough to make them maybe feel a little bit more comfortable. You combine that with them being in several CFS events before, whereas the CFPL, it is a different set of rules, different weapons they use, and I don't know how much time they've maybe had to make that transition over to this version where they do have some different gunplay to get used to, but that can also be another factor, whereas, you know, all gamers in Baisha, they're in this environment consistently enough that rule swap doesn't really impact them quite as greatly.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see if they can step up to the plate in this moment in time. Ranking having a little bit of time. You know, they had a full day to watch and to be here and then to play their match and then to go immediately into taking a nice rest, and then you've got another game on the way. So should be very well prepared, I would imagine, on the side of Ranking Esports.
One thing I will say in the favor of XROCK is that even though they haven't played at a CFS event before, you would imagine that all gamers in Baisha are looking for scrim partners on this format. So even though we haven't really seen them play this format in officials, I can imagine that they're relatively familiar with it. Also, not to mention the fact that they are now also the last team to actually play their first opening game. So it's very, very late on day 2. Obviously, teams got in here earlier on in the week, so they will have been scrimming amongst themselves, and XROCK even have like an extra couple of days on top of most teams to actually get that scrim time in. So, you know, it's basically the best case scenario, I think, for XROCK having to go from one sort of setting to another sort of a setting. At the very least, they get that transitionary period, going to give themselves like a week or two. Who knows how long Baisha and all gamers have been trying to scrim on this kind of game. You know, so I think definitely XROCK should be coming into this one feeling pretty comfortable, regardless of it being similar to CFPL or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we should be jumping into this one in just a moment. Blackwidow to start us off. We didn't finish our power rankings. I think I might put the 3 Chinese teams at the top, actually.
Yeah.
And it's not just because we're in Chengdu. I do think that the region is just really far ahead, and they have put a lot of separation between themselves and even Brazil in the last bunch of years. So I do think that I will give them the benefit of the doubt. Now we'll see how they play here on this stage. But it's a long tournament as well, and I think as long as they play decently through the group stage and they reach their final form later on, they're going to be a team to beat.
Yeah.
I think there's so much talent in China for this game, and I think that they should be up there. Last couple, I'd say probably Imperial is there for me. A 5th team? I don't really know.
It has to be Vincent or Pacific Makta, surely.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm not really sure if there's another team that can really enter the conversation right now.
Probably not. I would take Pacific in the 5th spot, actually, for me, over Vincent. I feel like Vincent has had one of the safer groups, and they've kind of underperformed in my eyes at times, even though they're winning those matches.
Sure.
I feel like they're a team I was expecting to play even better than what we're seeing, whereas Imperial, even though they give a map up in that series, the 2 after that looked way more convincing than anything we've seen from Vincent so far.
I'll tell you what, that is a nervous-looking face. You can see the chair shaking, so he's doing a bit of the leg wobbles, you know what I mean? Like, he's looking a bit nervous to me.
He also is utilizing the behind-the-head headphone
Strategy.
structure. I'm not sure if that denotes a little bit of nervousness. I don't think it does.
No. It's just swag, mate. You
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
understand.
do it, personally.
Yeah, well, look. Some guys got style, some guys don't.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I like the hair.
I do too.
I like the hair.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, could I pull that off?
He's kind of got like what Dola's got going on. Dola has a little bit more of a fade on the side, I think.
I don't know if you remember this, Kyle, but there was a period way back in the day where the Brazilian teams, I think this was before you casted. This was 2015, all right? And it was actually the casters. So we were, just to set the stage, I think because we've got a bit of time here, there was 6 caster desks at this event. There was English A stream, English B stream, Chinese A, Chinese B, and then Portuguese A, Portuguese B. So there were 6 caster desks and like obviously heaps of casters. And all of the Brazilian casters, like the guys doing the Portuguese broadcast, came with blue hair, like, but not like bright blue. It was like a faded blue. It was kind of like this, but if it was like a sort of a slaty kind of a blue. And we were like, how have they managed that? Anyway, it turns out they had this product. It was just a powder that you put in your hair, and like you sort of just like push it in, and it turns your hair blue. And it was like all the rage back then in 2015. And
Yeah.
they gave us some. We tried it. It was
I
pretty cool.
actually remember trying that product.
See, there you go.
It was totally unrelated, but I think it was around that time.
Full circle.
Somebody had it, and I was like, huh, that's cool.
Yeah, like
I like have
I'd
my
be
hair
down.
green for a night.
Yeah, and then you can just wash it out.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
it's pretty nice. Now I don't know how well it does with sweat if you're like really getting into your morphling chair and your Alienware mouse is getting a little sweaty, right? Yeah, I don't know how it deals with that, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
Conversation for another day, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. For now, we do have Blackwidow on the way. We're going to take a look at some of the stats here from these maps. First off, Blackwidow.
Yeah, for Blackwidow, I think I'm surprised we haven't seen it picked a little bit more aggressively. It used to be every single series you would see Blackwidow, especially the Chinese teams. It used to be their #1 pick by far, but it seems more and more lately teams are kind of looking at Ankara as that favorite map, I would say, overall, but looks like we are ready to hop into the action.
Looks like it. Game start is on the screen, and we are getting ready to move into the first map of this match. We are going to be hopping onto Blackwidow between XROCK and Ranking Esports. Let's hop on to this map right now.
Well, as is customary, the Chinese squad going to give themselves a bit of a hype cheer. Certainly a little bit more noise coming from their side of the stage than what we got from Ranking. But is that going to help them in the server? That's the big question mark. And now we'll get the answer to all our questions. How good really is XROCK?
Third best.
In China, but also how about third best in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, you can take that.
I mean, oftentimes that goes hand in hand, so
Sure.
it is going to be an aggressive first round, though, towards the B bomb side. We do have Sunny kind of poking around here, gets a great headshot onto Humio, and now you can see just a lot of poking around from XROCK. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of presence, though, on the A bomb site. Look at this fake. The rest of XROCK has complete control of A now, and Ranking, they have no idea.
It's a huge over-rotation from Ranking, isn't it? I think that's nerves getting to you, no doubt. Fundamentals should say at least you leave one player kind of playing retake on A in a worst-case scenario, and seeing Jia even get another kill on the way out there is going to be an even further detriment to Ranking. It's going to slow down their rotation. They're going to be wondering how there's still players behind us, and they're not even really in a position to retake the site before the C4 has like half just timed itself out. KT-15 quick up into the site, though. We'll be able to catch Lee off guard, and Chow goes down as well. So now it's just on to Yang, who doubles down, and I guess we're starting to get our answer. XROCK are here to play.
Pretty impressive stuff. I can't believe that Sunny was just in there alone against 4 people. He's just like bouncing back and forth between the windows, gets a kill, and it just totally fooled them. He had somebody following up, I think it was Gia, behind him afterwards. But yeah, just a very nice strategy to start off with. Humio is going to get in there and pick off a kill. That's a good start here for Ranking in the second round. That's another pick-off headshot through the window.
Well, Ranking trying to give as good as they're getting at the moment, and they have been able to do so. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't think these Ranking players, like pound for pound, can't actually challenge XROCK in the aim duels. Give them a 1v1 aim duel, and I think Ranking's just as likely to win it as XROCK is. But XROCK just play the game a little bit smarter than Ranking does, and you can even take that previous round as evidence of it. They completely bamboozled Ranking.
In this situation, though, Ranking has a bit of a stronger advantage on the round. We'll see if they can close it out this time around. Fotcon here trying to put some presence on this mid-double door position. He's going to run into trouble, gets one before going down. But they've got to recover this bomb quickly before the collapse comes in, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Humio gets it done, and Ranking quickly bring this one to a tie.
Yeah, nice job there. Just a couple of early pickoffs just from the GR side, sending out a couple of feelers and looking for those early frags before any action really gets going. Just got them into a really beneficial spot there in the beginning of round 2. You can see XROCK were trying to stick together with 3 of the remaining members, but it wasn't quite enough. Trying to go for a risky push through the double doors. And so now it's all tied up 1-1. XROCK will be stopped. We aren't going to see the flood of rounds coming in just yet.
Yeah, good long control established for Ranking. Lets them put a little bit more presence toward middle, given that they're not getting any info. And Nevis almost even looks like he wants to kind of take it a step further than nade around the corner. Obviously not going to land, but he's still kind of peeking and making sure there's no one from XROCK. But in the meanwhile, XROCK are not being slow to work through the map themselves. They've already got Gia up toward the bridge. And a couple more members standing outside the double doors.
Nice setup here on the execution. Toward this A bomb site, a lot of utility being thrown, but Humio holds on to the mid double doors, gets himself a double before going down to Sunny, but still the numbers remain equal. It's going to come down to this fight in mid, but Chow gets the better of it. And now they've got the numbers advantage to work with as the C4 goes down on the A bomb site. It's all about this retake here from KT-15 and Fotcon.
Yeah, Fotcon's position has been spotted. KT-15 kind of dealing with a 2-on-1 on A himself, and Sunny actually helps out. It's an easy round in the end for XROCK.
Yeah, pretty scrappy at the start of the rounds. Just both sides trying to send out feelers, trying to get pickoffs, and you do see that both sides are having luck with that. Of course, it was Humio getting 2 guys that were pushing through mid doors very early on, so XROCK being pretty aggressive in terms of the angles they're taking. Here comes Ranking, though. They've got 2 guys on the catwalk looking to try to pick someone off, but this time around, XROCK going to feel that pressure and play just the left side of the map for now.
This has been fairly standard, actually, as far as their setups are concerned. They haven't really spread super default. They've kind of heavily invested on one side of the map, whether it be toward the B or the A side. And then they've started to work their way back in. But obviously what that does is it gives someone like Ice Cube a bit more room to work, and he's a dangerous man to give a bit of space to. Nice double, couple of quick shots at the Orm. He's going to be traded back, but Gia is surely not going to be expecting Nevis close around the corner. While I spoke too soon. The quick scope didn't connect, but once again, the pistol coming through from one of the snipers working well. Humio, re-aggression was definitely unexpected from XROCK.
Yeah, now it's going to be down to how they want to try and reclaim the C4. It's in a very difficult position to retrieve it from, but you can also see the rotations coming through from Yang on the flank, trying to sneak behind, almost hits that shot on to Fotcon, but now the support system is in place for Ranking to try and hold on to it with. It's going to put that pressure now onto this 1v3, but it's a good start here, but not quite enough to feel safe. KT-15, though, is pretty low on HP to work with. Humio just holding safely on the back of the catwalk, but that bomb is still down in a very difficult position to grab it from. You can see the slow play coming through, but here comes the pinch from Ranking. They've got Humio ready to go, but it's actually KT-15 who finds the shot, and now Ranking put themselves in a good position once again.
Yeah, it was definitely good execution to finish out that round. There were a lot of exit kills, like especially this one, that gives XROCK the chance in this, right? GA also coming in here picking up this. It was essentially him versus Ranking getting a bunch of good picks. And he got like 3 kills, I believe, on the round, did GA. And he is leading the team for now. But it ends up being Ranking Esports' round by the end of it all. The C4 dropped in an unfortunate spot, and of course, just able to hold on to that one. So pretty even stuff so far. And I like the play style of both of these teams. Pretty scrappy.
Yep.
Just looking for pickoffs whenever they can.
Definitely hanging in the balance, though I think XROCK are going to be a little more aware of what Ranking is going to start to bring in the coming rounds. Because Ranking have found a lot of their advantages off of those more aggressive pushes, Humio in particular, pushing up through short, has kind of caught XROCK off guard a couple of times. You can actually see the presence that they're investing in that position this time around. And Gia making sure that his teammates can go past unscathed. Though there is no one there from Ranking this time around. I like that as a change-up too. You can't get away with constant aggression. You can't get away with constantly being passive, but Ranking at this point, at the very least, are showing us good amounts of both. Ice Cube down toward the bottom along here is going to be tested once again, and I think he's probably the most impressive player on this roster for me. This time, though, only good for 1-for-1, and Humio will try to salvage, but he was out in no man's land and just gets peeked off by Lee. Nevis on the push. Surely something that XROCK are potentially prepared for.
Yeah, they're in great shape here. A bit of an awkward fight, but it still goes the way of XROCK as well as they make this one a 4-on-1 Fotcon. He's got no chance. Sunny takes him down. And now we're starting to see things get a little bit more favorable for the side of XROCK, but it still feels like they're playing a little bit scrappy in these situations, especially when I think of the other teams from their region. There's a little bit more cohesion in their approach, and I feel like they almost don't seem too sure how they want to start off these rounds. They're almost waiting, kind of lurking around individually, getting that pick, and then they kind of come together at the last minute.
Yeah, perhaps just playing to their opponents, expecting Ranking Esports to be kind of aggressive and in their face, and just waiting to see if they can get some picks and then maneuvering from there. But yeah, it certainly seems like for now they're just trying to play a little bit slower and just wait and see what they can get before doing much of anything, which is fine. They did go for kind of that crazy round 1 play where they had Sunny distracting from the supply room, and then the rest of the team was just going in onto A. And that was pretty cool. Maybe they will return to that. But for now, we do have a stack in here from the side of ranking.
Doesn't seem like it's going to be a bad stack either, because that is the direction XROCK are going to head in. And this is a particularly difficult one to break because it's a high-low stack as well, although they're actually going to pull the trigger themselves, which just doesn't work out. I mean, that is ranking in a nutshell, right? They had the perfect setup. They just had to wait. They had to be a little bit more patient.
It's funny, too, because Kara House did the exact same thing earlier today against Pacific Macta. They had the perfect setup on the box room, but they just didn't have the patience to lock it down and hold for just a little bit longer. And they would have been able to shut down this push, likely, but now XROCK, they've been given a gift of a free bomb site, and now it's a 4v2 as well.
Yeah. You definitely don't have to do that. You can get lucky, and sometimes there's like one guy and you just isolate him, and it feels good.
Where's the trade?
Yeah, they could have just sat on it, as now Lee is on the A side, and the rest of his team is not. So Lee is like, well, I'm here alone. I might as well try to go for the flank, but Humio could potentially find this angle onto him. As Ice Cube, not going to hit that shot, is Lee, and a pretty important one at that. He is going to back away, but still, Chow at least is able to pick up the bomb and maneuver over to the A side. Should have enough time to plant this one as well. And this should make for a pretty interesting post-plant scenario. Is going to stop the plant, but there's still plenty of time for him to plant it down, as Ice Cube was just running in there with no brakes.
He wanted to be the hero. He wanted to turn this into a 1v1 at the worst-case scenario, but in the end, he's actually forced Humio into a much more difficult position. It's now a 2-on-1, and his spot is known, so Chow waiting for him upstairs. Look at that crossfire. Like, you're just not going to break that, so I'm astonished. I'm at a loss for words. If I'm the coach for either team there, I just don't know what to say about that round on both sides. Like, that should have been
a fun match so far.
Should have been so much cleaner for XROCK, but ranking, they had every opportunity to win that round and just letting it slip in multiple facets. So neither team playing the perfect game so far, but as you say, it has been fun. And Ice Cube, well, he'll take some damage for his troubles there, but more than welcome as far as that trade is concerned.
Yeah, ranking, all they need is a little bit of patience, and I feel like they could be just a dominant team, and we'll see if they can maybe take note of that as the rounds go forward, but it doesn't seem too likely how they've been playing this one out. It's going to be XROCK, though, putting that pressure early on the catwalk here. Nobody directly defending, just Humio underneath, and they've got, of course, Ice Cube on the off angle, but there is still a little bit of work to be done in this round for XROCK. They don't really have any advantage and not too much map control, but look at the spot there from Gia. He's going to get it done. ET15 goes down. Nevis, he's been spotted on the barrel as well. Will the shot connect? No, it will not, but it's going to be a re-engage anyways here, potentially. You can tell they want to take these fights, but ranking, they've got the rotators nearby.
I just want to make sure that their spacing is good here. I think that was one of the issues with the last round for XROCK, is that they just sent one player in, I think it was Yang, on his own, and no one was there to trade him when he took that fight against Ice Cube. Again, it looks like it'll be Yang to try to be that entry fragger for XROCK. Flash is getting tossed on in, but again, yes, this time much better. Yang gets the opener, is taken down, but the trade there from Sunny, and Chow also able to strike as well. So that's a little bit cleaner from XROCK. Spacing, trading on a better level this time. And as a result, a much cleaner round. 5-2. It was looking pretty tight at the start of this map. And all of a sudden, it's blown out. XROCK are looking dominant now.
Yeah, you get a sense that they're starting to be pretty much in a place of comfort moving forward on this one, and it could be enough to where they can just run away with it. But a lot of it comes down to ranking. They have the shots to go toe-to-toe here, but strategically, they're just getting outclassed every single time, and they've got to find a way to adapt to that. I hope they have a coach or something in their ear telling them, you guys just need to play a little bit more composed, a little bit more patiently, and this is a much closer game on their hands.
Yep.
In reality, though, as you were saying before, I think you kind of, your honest take was correct, where it's like, well, at this point, if it hasn't changed, I'm not sure if it will, because this is kind of just what ranking esports is, and sometimes it works, but other times I think consistent teams like XROCK are going to get the better of you, and so far it has been mostly in their favor. couple of close rounds that they did lose.
Man, the fact that Ice Cube almost gets away with 2 kills there is very illegal. He should have gotten traded every day of the week, but Gia is doing what Ice Cube could not. He goes for the drop shot as well. Lands it with the pistol. That is just a stylish round from Gia. And that's a round over as well. XROCK are picking the pace up, definitely. 6-2. Could be a 7-2 half. Needed a little bit of time to warm up into this game, but as soon as they did, it was not looking good for ranking.
At the very least, it is a blacklist-sided map, so maybe ranking can do something when they switch sides here to pull it to a little bit closer of a matchup, but so far hasn't looked too solid for them. We do see a push coming out of A long, though. It's not going to be expected by XROCK. It is going to be a nice 1-for-1 trade. I'm actually surprised that ranking didn't get a little bit more value out of that fight, but here comes KT15 as well from B long. It's just a full spawn pinch coming in from ranking, and now XROCK, they've got to find a way to adapt.
Yeah, and they had the guy in mid, Ice Cube, to kind of hold it all together so you're not just leaving the middle open. So a pretty unique strategy that we do not see too often from the GR side. You don't have to do this on this map, but trying to throw a spanner in the works, it kind of works. But at the same time, now you've got A left to just Nevis, who has 8 health. And the entire team of XROCK is barreling down. Now they haven't, well, now they found him. And that's going to be the end of him.
Poor old Nevis. I mean, that's an angle that's never not going to get cleared out. Nice shot, though, from Fatcons. And I wonder if there's still a chance here for ranking to grab themselves the third into the round. Ice Cube, always a bit of a sharpie, goes for the no-scope. This time won't work out. Fatcon loses his life, and the trade is in for XROCK. 7-2. Look, it's not quite the 8-1 half that we saw from Imperial there on the backside of Ankara, but it's just about, that was solid from XROCK for sure. And I think that is starting to silence any of the questions that we had about this third-seeded Chinese team.
Yeah, I mean, it looked close in the first 4 rounds. You had a nice back and forth, that 2-2 start, but as soon as XROCK got comfortable on this map, it's been all but over, it seems. And starting it off in the half, it is going to be Chow who gets the pick onto Nevis. Quickly traded, though, by KT15 to keep this one in an even 4-on-4. But this is where ranking has a lot of trouble on the BL side. There's so much hesitation when they have to do something as a team that they just kind of get picked apart.
Ranking have used a lot of their util to take long control, though. And I like this from XROCK. In response, going to take some map control of their own. It's just pure fundamentals in a tactical shooter.
Yeah, I mean, we see this from both of the other Chinese teams as well. It's something that they're really good at as a region, is understanding, you know, the flow of the play. It's going to take them a little while. They're not just going to barrel down A long. So you have a little bit of time to, at least, if they're not rotating, to take some of the map. And now GA is going to get that pick, and he saw the push coming in. So that's all the information they need at this point. It is going to be a plant here eventually from the side of ranking, you'd have to imagine. But look at this. Now Sunny is able to get the wrap very quickly and on good timing. And Ice Cube is there to watch it. So good job from him to understand that this flank could be coming in.
I was going to say, that was a really important fight on long. If it goes the way of XROCK, it's definitely still a winnable round. But where's the bomb? Why? Why is the bomb in mid? They have the A side. I don't understand this.
B.
What? Oh my God, he almost clutched it out. I am about to start pulling my hair out.
Oh man, they're just going B.
Why? Why are they going B? Explain.
I'm just trolling.
Explain.
So many questionable decisions.
They had A.
I want to know who the IGL is on ranking for sure. He definitely needs a talking to of some sort to get this one figured out. Thankfully, though, they at least grabbed that round, but they're still very sloppy in the process. A missed shot, though, gives Humio the opportunity, but the follow-up is still there from GA to get it done, and now they've got a nice advantage to move forward with on the round. And again, ranking, they try to go for this map control, but it just doesn't work out. Sunny finds a nice double kill here. Yang finds a 4th on the round, and now ranking all in the hands of Ice Cube for this one. It's not going to matter. XROCK take it quickly.
It's almost like XROCK, they saw the last round and they're like, oh, we can disrespect these guys. She is just charging them down with an arm. The 2 of them are getting into water. Ranking try to retake it. It just looks a bit flimsy. And Ranking are a really good team. That's why they're here at the Grand Finals. But XROCK just on another level right now, 8-3.
Gia hidden behind that smoke. Going to toss a bit of util out on his own, but the real offensive is up through short. Chow only good for none, actually. It's Sunny to get one. And Ranking have thrown in a similar round to maybe what XROCK gave to them. Yang connects his shot with the Orb. Double Orb setup for XROCK. Faster play from Ranking should work out against that kind of a setup, but let's see what Gia can do. He's been solid so far. Drops the C4. That's the big important kill. Gia gets another one. He'll fall. He'll fall. Ice Cube can still clutch this one out for Ranking. And it is Yang.
He's going B.
He's going to mid. Don't you worry about it. Oh, he's going A. He's
Okay.
going A. Yang's actually been given the time for the rotation, though, because of that rotation, and he's gone back to the AK, which is his favored weapon. Now he's not sure, though, because no plant has gone down, so he's kind of starting to second-guess himself and thinking it's going to go back toward B. Both players actually playing quite patiently here. I mean, in particular, Ice Cube, he is just chillin'. Pardon the pun.
It's a good flank here on long, though, from Yang. I don't actually think Ice Cube is going to be aware of this
No
one.
way.
He's just kind of hanging out here, though, in window. He hasn't even attempted to plant the bomb just yet. Yang, if he makes a little bit too much noise, it could compromise the position. Here comes the fight, though. Ice Cube gets lit up, but so does Yang, even worse so. And now Ice Cube knows he has the advantage, swings wide, and Ranking claim another round.
Yeah, I mean, it gives them a shot. That was a pretty nice response from Ranking to just kind of pull the trigger, get very aggressive, run it down mid, and try to, you know, barrel into Catwalk. They got a couple of picks even through the mid doors, and trying to just bowl over XROCK, and it works out well for them. That is their strategy. Doesn't require a lot of strategy as well if you can just kind of run at them and win the firefight, so that's definitely their strength at this point.
Ranking W key. It's going to work out, unless what's Gia got to show for it. Sunny's there to assist as well, but he will fall, and Gia does quickly as well. So, on to Lee, 1v4. Bit too much to ask, and these faster plays, this extra pace that Ranking is bringing now, is actually causing problems for XROCK. Scoreline starting to creep closer. Not the end of the world still for XROCK. They've got a lot of time, actually, to close this out, but you have to start having a bit of a think about it. Maybe it's tack timeout if they lose another round.
Might not be a bad call here if things start to get stacked against them, but here comes the push onto the B-bomb site. This time, it's going to be Lee and Yang holding the line for the moment, but Nevis still getting the better of that situation for Ranking. And now Fotcon as well on the lurk, able to take down Sunny. They've got full control of the B-bomb site, and the lurk from Fotcon kind of presents a really difficult pinch here now that these two remaining XROCK players have to deal with.
You can see they're both aware of it, but they don't know where he is exactly. Fotcon playing it nicely. He knows he has all the time in the world, essentially, because they have to push in a B. He's going to get the drop on it. Well, GA able to turn around and pop him down. Yes. Not a lot of time, though. He's got to go 2v2. The two of them are in here in the room on top of the boxes. And they got to flash, and they got to push this right now. He's not able to get the kill, and GA's got to go 1v1. Can he get the shot? He's just playing the window, and there's just not enough time. At least he got the pride of winning the 1v2, I suppose. But that is a win in the round, more importantly, to Ranking Esports.
So when do we get to see a tack timeout here from XROCK? Are they feeling the pressure yet? Maybe not. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a tack timeout from them.
I mean, if they know how things go with Ranking, 8 rounds isn't a worry with Ranking here.
True.
They always seem to get to that 8 somehow, and then things start to go south. So we'll see if they can find a way through this time around. XROCK, though, they still have a nice lead to work with. They are starting to look a little bit shaky against this more aggressive playstyle coming out of Ranking, which they are slowing down a little bit in this round here. Humio going for that boost on long, not going to find anything from it. There's really no aggressive forward players on the A-bomb site this time for XROCK, but you can see the commitment anyways from Ranking, and I like this change of pace, not being afraid to go for these early pushes. Here comes the utility over the top. KT-15 and Humio find the entries. Fotcon as well. There's just no response from XROCK. It's already down to a 4-on-1.
Wow. Okay, surely you have to call a timeout here if you're XROCK. Yeah, I can see them handing the card back, I think, to the referee right there. Because this is now actually starting to get a little bit too close for comfort. Like, they were dominating.
Pause on.
Yeah, but now they're not. Ranking are the ones that are kind of running over XROCK. And why? That's the question that they have to answer. I would like to see a change up here from XROCK.
I just think that Ranking, they realized that they could just run at them. And once it worked once, it worked a second time. They're like, this is the thing. Like, why would we ever not do this? This is the only way we're winning rounds. And XROCK, they never had a real answer. So I like the call for the timeout. You have to do this now because you've lost so many. It was 8-3. Now it's 8-6. And you have not had an answer in 3 rounds. They haven't only been round losses. They have been pretty devastating one-sided round losses. So either you figure it out now or maybe Ranking just roll over you in the next bunch of rounds.
That is the key point of difference. If it's 3 rounds that come down to a 1v1 and you just don't win the 1v1, you go, well, that sucks, but at least we're making it close. But right now, it doesn't even seem close for XROCK. So, bit of thinking to be done. I'd like to see them change things up, maybe try to get a bit aggressive, take a bit of long control, take water control, maybe try and push into mid, onto short, something like that. Just take the onus away from Ranking or take their opportunity to dictate the game away from them, right? Make it so that they actually have to play a little bit reactively rather than proactively. Because at the moment, it is XROCK that's being reactive, but they're not reacting well enough. So maybe if they try to throw their own curveball in, that catches Ranking off guard. And look, this is not the kind of strategy that's going to win you the game necessarily, but at this point, you only need like 1 or 2 rounds. You know, it's not a huge amount of a difference. And I think if you can just break this momentum, then that can go a really long way for XROCK here. But I'm starting to get worried. Ranking here on Blackwidow, looking good. Wonder if they can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, XROCK, I'm hoping they come out of this one with maybe some mid-control plays. I feel like when you're not having a whole lot of luck against an aggressive team, going for that fast mid-control can do a lot of work for your team. But they're going to go ahead and play it almost even more safe than what they were before, to try and add some extra pressure, but I don't think Ranking has any issue with this. They're going 4 players directly out the mid-double doors, but this time Yang is ready, gets the triple kill spray down, and things have not worked out after this pause.
Yeah, that one was a little bit too much. I mean, you're charging down mid. It was pretty obvious. Like, they had some amount of information that Yang was just able to look down mid, and I think he almost got an ace. He at least got 4 kills in that one. But really nicely done from the side of XROCK. They take the tack pause, and then they come back, and it's a very one-sided round. They read the pressure. They're in position to handle it, and they shut it down immediately. And that's one of the weaknesses of just sprinting at your opponents, is that if they're ready for it, they're probably just going to mow you down.
Yeah, now it's going to come down to that final round for XROCK. Can they handle the pressure of closing this one out, or will they allow Ranking to somehow swing this one into an overtime situation? They're going to be playing a pretty similar passive setup, but this time, Ranking, they're not just running in face first.
Problem is, though, momentum broken, confidence perhaps shattered for Ranking. Sometimes all it takes is this sort of knife's edge type situation, and everything is relying on that if you're making the comeback happen. And as soon as the illusion is broken, then it all falls to pieces.
They are going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're walking right into a stack here. It's going to be tough to break through, but if they go fast enough, it has worked before, even on some of these stacked up rounds. So we'll see if the utility is going to be there to back it. Chow, though, he's kind of in a key position. If he goes down too early, this site could be a little bit too exposed to this aggressive play, but you still have to worry about this Alm in hand as well. It's a missed shot, though. Ranking, they've got an opportunity, but the rest of XROCK is here to shut it down. It's all onto Humio, but Humio, he somehow finds the double, but it's not going to be anything more than that. 10-7, XROCK, they claim the first map.